Yes, Imran. See, some of the guys not able to join because of looks like they got some setting issue in the link. Okay, so many are joining through YouTube itself, the live one. So you can go ahead and start it. Okay.
Sure, sir, sure.
Okay.
So let me share my screen.
Let's go ahead and just explain theoretical itself all the part first, and then we'll add in another boot camp to do hands-on.
Okay, but I can represent them on the like just like for example, if I'm
Yeah,
so I
you
can.
can go ahead and like in creating, like it will take too much time in the resource part.
Mm-hmm.
So we can explain all the component and just show them in Azure where it is.
Okay, so I was thinking
And
of just showing them in the portal, like not creating the
yeah, on the
resources, just
portal
showing
itself
them
you
in the
can, so
portal.
that should be okay.
Okay,
The
sure.
thing is, Priyanka, you gave the access to label one to many one of you. Let me ask if Buj, Sahid, and Suraj got one access level one or not yet. Suraj, have you got one access, our portal access, or not yet?
Yes, I have access.
You have the access?
Yes.
Okay. What about Sahid?
Uh, no, I haven't got any access yet.
Okay. So you can, after the class, you can go to vani.com, VAANII, and you can just go to the course, select the course, and send for access. Okay.
Can you please share the name of the website in the chat so that I can?
Sure, sure, we'll do that.
Thank you.
No problem. And so whoever did not get access, you can get. And for label one, there is no any charge. You can go ahead, do a study, and let us know your feedback. Okay, Simran, please go ahead.
Sure. So, good morning, everyone. We have been talking about the Azure resources yesterday, that we have learned about the virtual machines, storage accounts, virtual networks, and all of these that you can see on the screen. We will be talking about the resource groups, that also I have shown you what are the resource groups. This is a logical container which will be holding all of your related Azure resources. And we have seen when I created blob storage, it was you could see it under the resource group that you have created. So whatever the resources you are going to create, it will fall under the same resource group until you are going to change it. So, and next we have is Azure subscription, which also I have shown you how the subscription looks like. That this is a membership account which will let you see your let you use your Microsoft Azure services. It will let you know that who can use the services, who will have the subscriptions, and what services they can use. So this is a container for all of your resources like your virtual machines, databases, apps, and it also control the billing, usage, and the access. You can see in the on the screen that you can have different subscription for the different environments, and under one account you can have all those different subscriptions. And if we see here on the portal, when you search the subscription part, you can see we have 3 subscriptions already, and you can see all of those under the subscriptions. You can see like which resources do you have under this, and when you open you can see several properties on the left side, and then you can have your billing, your cost management, your resources, events, your security, and all those features for one of the subscription. Next we have is management groups. So management groups are the containers. This is to organize your multiple subscriptions again. If you see on the screen, you have resources, resource groups, subscriptions, and management groups, and this is all hierarchical. Your resources, then first you create your resource, and this is under a resource group. It is under a subscription. The top of it, we have the management groups, and these are the containers which is going to you can apply your policies, access control across the different subscriptions at once, and you can create 10,000 management groups which can be under one single directory. Directory is your identity and access container in Azure that we will see later on. And also after that we have this is already we have done yesterday. Next we will be talking about compute services, and if you see you can see some of them, couple of the compute services on the screen. What are the compute services? If you heard about the DevOps services, DevOps is like development and operations, and this is all these services are closely related to DevOps. Then if you have to automate a code, deploy a code, or you have to run any applications, if you heard about CI/CD, CI/CD is continuous integration, continuous deployment, and this is all, they are all helping in the deployment part. So you have virtual machines, app services, containers instances, Azure Kubernetes services, Azure Virtual Desktop. All of these are commonly used as deployment targets in your CI/CD part. And you have this is very important part of the for your services like your virtual machines. So virtual machines, do you know what are virtual machines? Anybody want to answer? All right. So you have your computers at home, right? Virtual machine is a software-based computer that will run an operating system and applications just like a physical computer, but it runs inside a virtual environment. So if we go to our portal and you look for your virtual machine here, you can see all the options for the virtual machines. You can create it. Again, you get some options depending on your requirement. You can choose one and then create one virtual machine. There are a couple of requirements on it. You can just go through. A subscription is required. Basically, a resource group is required. Then the name of the virtual machine. You have the region, which region you are creating it, the availability options, and all those options. You just fill it up. And you can see on the top we have the basics is just the naming and your basic requirements. Then you have the disk that you have to see. For the networking also you have some options here that needs to be filled up. We have some management, that also again another options that you have to select. For monitoring also advanced, and then tags, and then review and create, and then you can create your virtual machine on your portal. Next comes your Azure container services. And what are the container services we have? You can see these are the cloud services that lets you build, deploy, and manage your applications, but they are all in the containers. And it will bundle your apps and its dependencies. Like these are kind of small containers. You can just, whenever you are building a code, whenever you want to deploy it, you can just have everything together, your code, your application, its dependencies, and you can, it's like a container and you can deploy that containers across different environments. So for example, if you are building your code in the development environment, and then you have your code build in a contain in these containers, one of these containers, and you can just move it to the deploy it to the test environment or the production environment, and you can have everything in the another environment that you are deploying it to. We have Azure Kubernetes services for that. We have Azure container instances for that, and we have Azure container registry for that. These are very lightweight and fast compared to the full VMs. Rather than deploying your full virtual machine that have your code and everything, it's very lightweight. These are just like small container, and it's consistent for across your another from your development to the production environment. We also like these are Docker containers also, we can call them. And next we have is Azure Functions. Azure Function is a serverless compute service. This is like when you want to run your small pieces of code, we call it as functions, and we do not need infrastructure for that or any server for that. This is event driven. So for example, if you trigger your HTTP request or any timers or any messages, you don't need to manage or provide any servers for that. It handles, like Azure is handling its scaling automatically, and it's pay per use. I can show you how do they look like. If you look for the function app. So this is your function app under which your Azure functions will be there. These are some of the plans we have: hosting, consumption for premium app services and everything. You can just consider one of them. Select, just like I'm going to select consumption, then you select it. And then again, you have some options here, that storage, what storage you want to give, what networking you are going to have, monitoring, deployment, and then review and create. Then you can just create it and then you can use it. Next we have is Azure Storage. We already have spoken about Azure Storage that I created yesterday. There was one blob storage, and blob storage like where you can have it's a set of cloud-based services from Microsoft Azure which will allow you to store data in the cloud. Storage account that we have created yesterday was the blob storage, and the storage redundancy that also we have spoken about, that 4 kind of storage. Let me show you in the storage account. We do have this one. Let me create a new one. So if when you are going to create a storage account, you have here in the redundancy, you have 4 options. That is all it's about. So you have different options to see like where your data is, and you can just choose according to that. Locally redundant is the most cost efficient. If you do not need a lot of data and it's not very far away, you can just use it. And similarly, you can have other options in here. After this, we have Azure Storage Services, which is, we do have some kinds. The couple you can see here, we have tables, Azure Blob that we have just discussed about. This is the unstructured data. It will store the unstructured data like the images, videos, PDFs, or backups and logs, etc. We do have Azure Disk Storage, which use a virtual hard drive for your Azure virtual machines. We have Azure Queue. Queue is like it stores the messages for the communication between the different application components. And we do have Azure Files, which is going to be our fully managed file shares which is accessible, like it's accessible like a shared folder. You can see whenever you create a storage account, you will see all those options in there. And you have Azure tables also. It stores the structured NoSQL data in the key value format. So all of these, they have different features. You can create Azure storage according to your requirement. So how your data looks like, how you want to store your data, what processes you need for these different storage services will be helpful. These are some of the storage service public endpoints. And when you create a storage account, I'll show you that how does it look like. So public endpoint in the storage is a default internet accessible URL that will allow the users or the applications to access your storage resources. For example, the blobs we have, files, queues, or tables, it can be accessible over the public internet. That means when you create a Azure storage account, Azure automatically creates these public endpoints, and any client with the correct permissions like SAS token, access key, or any Azure AD credentials, it can access these endpoints from anywhere on the internet. And without proper permissions, even though if the endpoint exists, users will get access denied. Let me show you how does it look like. We go to the storage account. I do have this one. I'm just trying to see all of these. The one we have just seen is here. We have the containers, file shares, queues, and tables under the data storage. It lets you know how you are going to create your data, how you are going to access your data, and how you want to store it. Then we have here some other options, that is under security and networking. You have the access keys, and when you go down, these are the endpoints we have. So all of your endpoints are created whenever you created a storage account. These endpoints will be created over there. You can just copy them and you can give the access to anybody. Like when you will go forward, you have another Azure Data Factory, you have Azure Databricks as a services. All of those services, they have the endpoints required sometimes to get the access or get the access of these storage accounts. So this is how it looks like. You can just copy it, put it in there, and then anyone on the internet also, they can access it if they have the right permissions. Okay. And then we have is the Azure storage access tiers that also we have spoken about yesterday. That whenever we are creating the blob storage, or whenever you are creating ADLS Gen 2, you have these options and you can choose any option out of this, and then you can decide for which option you have to put in your storage account. Then we already have created a storage blob, and then comes the Azure Migrate. So Azure Migrate, if you know what is migration, this is the migrate tool. Migration is like when you are deploying your let's say your data or your databases are on premises databases, and you are migrating it to the cloud. This is Azure Migrate is a tool. It's a service from Microsoft that will help you discover and migrate your on-premises servers, apps, databases, and workloads to Azure. So what does it? It has, like, you can migrate your virtual machines, your databases, web applications, file servers, and storage, any containers you have, all of those you can migrate with the help of Azure Migrate. So this is a tool provided by Microsoft Azure. Another we have is file management options. That is, we do have some file management options. We know that we do have files. So we can it provides several options for managing the files and shared storage depending on your use case, such as you have file storage, backups. This gives you multiple flexible options for managing files in the cloud, when you need your shared network storage, any syncing with the on-premises file servers, then we use the file management options. This is easy copy if you want to copy your resources from one subscription to the another or from one instance to the another. There is Azure Storage Explorer where you can have whatever the files you have is you can just go here and um, where you can go and explore your files, what is in your file, you can edit them. And Azure File Sync is another on-premises Windows file server in a bidirectional manner. So all of these are the file management options that Microsoft is providing. Next is we have Azure Identity Access and Security and Azure Essentials with the cost management. So this is all about the governance and the access and the policies in the Azure platform for your different resources. Microsoft Entra ID, it was named as Azure Active Directory or before, now it is called as Microsoft Entra ID. It is renamed as that. This is a cloud-based identity and access management service. If you open any of your resource and you see the Microsoft Entra, if you search for Microsoft Entra ID, Microsoft Entra ID, you can see some features in here on the left side. When you come to your directory, you can see we have users, groups, external entities, roles and administrators. So all of these options you can have, this is to access your like all the resources you have, who can see, who can access in your organization's apps and services both in the cloud and on premises. This is all the options for that. If you want to connect to this is for the security and the properties, all of these options you have to select, and you can always give the access to anybody in your organization to your different environments. But you have to first choose which properties you have to use, which features you are going to use for your Microsoft Entra ID, and will provide to the different users and groups. So this is how you can manage your resources in an organization, giving the access and for your security features. All right. And next we have is Azure multi-factor authentication. So multi-factor authentication is it's a security feature that will help protect your accounts by giving you 2 or more verification methods. So what does that mean? That means that even if someone steals your password, they still cannot access your account without a second form of verification. So there is a 2-form verifications that you have to do. And how does it work? If someone knows your password, if they have like the authentication they need, multi-factor means like 2 kinds of authentication you have to provide them to if they want to access your account or any of your resources. So for example, if you are working with one team and there is another team also, they want to access it, unless they have the both authentications verified, they will not be able to access your resources or your services, whatever you have created. Next we have is conditional access. So what does conditional access means? Conditional access is like when you are working in the cloud, you can give it's again the same thing as one we have just discussed. So conditional access means that when you are used to bring your like signals together, there are any decisions made, all of those things which is which we get is for the different users, or if there is any membership IP location devices or any applications that then only you can have the access to the other it's like a smart security gate for your apps. So when you check who, where and how someone is trying to log in, and then you can decide if they can access it or not. So this is called the conditional access. So you have many options here for the security of your data that we can just have an insight into. There is another one we have is role-based access control. So role-based access control is again a access management system. You can see on the screen that there is user, apps, and user groups we have discussed in the Microsoft Entra ID. There is a subscription, under that is a source group, and you can have a fine-grained access control on any of your resource and on your data. Next comes is the cost management. Cost management that we have learned yesterday, that how would you able to manage your resources, the consumption and the maintenance, depending on how much billing and how much do you want to. We have seen the pricing calculator, and and which like for example the resources you have and how much are you going to um, pay for it, and how much if you want any alerts on it, and you can see like how much is the consumption on your resource. There are few types we have a calculator which is going to tell you that how much your resources is going to cost you, how much a storage account or any of the resources is going to cost you. So that all we can see under the we can see under the pricing that one second, let me show you that. That comes under the cost management that we have seen yesterday. This is the cost management we have. And there we have different options. We have budgets, we have billing, invoices, payment methods, payment history, and you have the cost analysis that we did yesterday, by cost by resource, cost by resource group, subscriptions, services, and it will show you all of those. And you can manage your resources under that. If you see like your data factory is taking a lot of charges, it charges you a lot, you can just remove it and you can have your other resources created instead of that. There are several factors on that. There are several factors for that which are going to cost you more. When you are creating a resource, you can better to choose your options in the right way and the most cost efficient way. This is the basic of using a cloud. Okay, and this is all again like this is how the factors. This is part 2, the geography, national network traffic, and subscription. So whatever the options you are choosing while creating the resource, it will affect the cost, and you can just see, you can just manage it while creating it. Next we have is the marketplace. Marketplace we do have is here you can search for the resources after your for example, let me show you the marketplace. Yeah, here. So in the marketplace, you can have all your resources. You can search for your storage account. Like there are two ways. Either you can just search it on the top of here, or you can search in the marketplace. All of your resources, you can see a virtual machine on the Ubuntu server. You have Windows Server, Windows 11, everything on here you can search for. So this is all at one place. And your SQL Server, Visual Studio, all of it, it's kind of an online store which is provided by Microsoft, where you can find, try, buy, and deploy thousands of certified ready-to-use solutions from the Microsoft and any third-party vendors, and they are designed to run on or integrate with Azure. All right, and we do have the pricing calculator that we have just discussed about, that as per your region, as per your tier, billing options, programs, offers, and any which environment you are working on. All of these you can see in here. And you can always manage your resources as per the pricing also. That means like if it's costing you more, you can just remove it and create with another features on it. And that's all the help we can get from the pricing calculator. So it helps you understand the cost of the Azure services before you deploy, so you can plan and optimize your cloud budget confidently. When you create a resource, on the right side it will show you how much it is going to cost you. So you can decide like which tier you have to decide, which tier you need, which region you need. All of those options you can have in there. Next is the Microsoft cost management, which I already have mentioned, and I have shown you how the cost management we can do, quite similar to the one we have just covered. So next is the governance and compliance. We have some options in here. We have Microsoft Purview. So do you understand anything about the governance and compliance in Azure? Or anywhere, if you have worked in any of the tool in Amazon, in Google, or in Oracle, do you understand what does that mean, the compliance? So governance in Azure means like governance refers to the policies, any process control that you set up in and manage and regulate your Azure resources, which will align with your organization standard, security requirements, business objectives. So whatever your business requirement is, your organization standard is, and the security requirement, this is from Azure. So Microsoft Purview is from Azure, and this helps you in the for your data governance, for your cataloging and compliance solution, which will help you protect your data. So it will help you understand what data you have, where it is, and how will you keep it secure and compliant. This is all its meaning. There are some terms related to that. That is data cataloging, classification, data lineage, data governance, compliance management, risk and sensitivity, insights. All of these are very, very important terms that you can learn later. Again, we have resource logs. This is again another feature in Azure that will help you protect your critical resources for any accidental deletion or modification. So this is a kind of a safety switch on your Azure resources. Okay, so next is your resource deployment tools. We do have some deployment tools in Azure that that interacts with Azure. So deployment tools is we do have Azure portal. It actually provides you multiple tools and interfaces to manage and interact with your cloud resources. And we do have Azure portal. This is like the one we are working on is the Azure portal. This is the one. And you have inside there, when you are creating your resources, you can either create it in Azure PowerShell or in the Cloud Shell. That is also in your Azure portal when you are creating the resources. And there is another way is like Azure CLI, which is command line interface, which is your cross-platform command line interface. You can do your scripting, automation, DevOps, all in the CLI. Portal is your web-based graphical user interface where you have which is best for your visual management, and this is good for the beginners also that we have just introduced. Next is the monitoring tools. So we have some monitoring tools with us, and that is these are the monitoring tools means like that is again one and the same thing. That one we have it's a full stack monitoring services which will help you analyze your data from your applications infrastructure. So you can see from the Azure monitor that what is happening inside your Azure environment, and so you can see your problems, you can optimize the performance and improve the reliability. You can have the metrics, logs, alerts, dashboards, application insights, all of these can be controlled in the Azure monitor. So we can have it, and that's how you can control your resources also. And that's it. That's all about the fundamentals. Hope you have learned it very well and you understand some of the concepts, and the rest of the concepts can be explained if you are going to learning it more in detail. And that's all from my side. Thank you. I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Simran, you have some questions in chat box also.
Okay. Okay, 1 second, let me see. Okay, so I'm sorry, I haven't seen it. How many services does it have? Sorry, whose question is this, and which services you are talking about? Like Azure services, are you saying? It's Shaikh, right? Sorry. So which services are you talking about? Like, are you asking about in Azure? How many cloud services? So there are several services we have in Azure, like the we have discussed a lot of them, and there are almost it offers 200 plus cloud services. Um, like there is a wide range of categories and the functional areas. Yeah, AWS is having 400 plus, it has 200 plus, and it falls under infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. We have some compute services, storage, networking, databases, some of those. There are developer tools, governance and management. So these are it's like I cannot say the exact number of services is not fixed if it's 200 plus, and it keeps on frequently adding new services, also updated the old ones, merge them. So are you from as so these are both cloud providers, AWS and Azure. They both serves the same functionality. We have AWS, we have Azure. After the Azure, we will be working on AWS also. Are you working in AWS? I think you're on mute. Can you speak? No learning. So it
Yeah,
depends
I'm
on the
audible,
which.
Simran. Yeah,
I can hear you. I can hear you.
can you hear
So
me?
you, I
Yeah,
can hear you.
actually, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I was asking how different the Azure is with AWS. As I was practicing AWS and trying to get a job from there itself, and
Mm-hmm.
along with that, I'm just trying to learn DevOps tools and all with AWS. Since you know
Okay.
how the market is with AWS is having the whatever the analytics has came so far, it shows that 35% of market is with AWS and like that. So I joined now itself a few minutes ago because
Mm-hmm.
earlier if I had joined to the introduction, I could have get all these questions. That's the reason I have asked again. Can you tell how different getting a job with Azure is than getting with AWS? And that's the reason I could ask you the questions.
Sure. So introduction, we had the introduction yesterday. We started the boot camp yesterday, and then like you can hear the introduction from our portal also, like from our website, and you can also see the introduction that we have given. So this was a 2-day boot camp. You can also see the recording on YouTube. So we cannot say that there is a comparison. They both are the biggest cloud computing platforms, right? So it depends, like in the real life, which organization, which company you are working with. If you are working who are already using AWS, they will definitely be continuing with AWS. And if someone is working with Azure, they will be going with Azure only. Okay, so they both
Yes,
have different
understand.
features. Yeah, so they both have different startups. They have like there are many enterprise companies who are working with Azure. There are many who are working with the AWS also. So I hope you like if you learn either of them. I prefer Microsoft. I am a Microsoft certified
No,
data
both
engineer.
of them is mandatory nowadays. What I have gone through so far, I could
Mm-hmm,
tell both of them is required to land a good job over there. Otherwise,
mm-hmm,
since if somebody wants to go with a single kind of platform, it is going to help. So, nice explanation. I could say you have explained the things very clearly.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
If it is possible, I could join this
And
and
also
make my questions.
also like they are very close to each other. I mean, the services they both have is quite similar. If you learn about the storage accounts in there in AWS or in Azure, they both are same. Like it's the concept. Once you understand the concept, you will be able to create them, and you be able to use all of the services in Azure as well as in AWS. So they are quite close to each other. So you were talking about
Yeah,
DevOps
maybe.
also. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you were talking about DevOps also.
Yes,
So DevOps is the concept if you understand it, and then like you can just use for deployment or any CI/CD. Both the environments, AWS, both the clouds, they give you an understanding of DevOps first of all, and then you can integrate it with either both of the clouds.
understand. Maybe the difference is whatever the nomenclature they are having, like Azure Blob is there, there is AWS S3, and those kind of
Right,
things are there.
right.
Otherwise,
Yeah,
everything
the storage, they have different
is
names,
same.
but they serve the same purpose.
Understand? Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, any other questions?
For now, no questions. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Yes.
So we will be happy if you give the feedback, the boot
Mm,
camp we have, and you can see also the recording also on the YouTube for the yesterday
definitely.
one's recording also. Yeah. Okay. So before leaving, can you, if anybody have any questions so far for Azure, uh, whatever we have covered, for the fundamentals course or anything, if you have any questions, you can please ask me. No questions? All right. Over to you, sir, then. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.